been talking to people in two different places?
Well, yeah.
With
I basically I have my wife who wants to have dinner, and I have negotiated another 5 minutes, so this is good.
All right.
So we were talking about subvocalization, backtracking, and you had a wonderful expression about when it's a bumpy road, you go slower.
Yes.
And when it's a freeway, you go faster.
You go faster, yeah. I think that, for instance, reading stuff like the Bible, I think some stuff, I mean, some reading material were meant to read slowly, you know, so that you could enjoy what you read, and you could understand more thoroughly, and you could think it over. The Bible is an example, right? I think it's pointless to attempt to read the Bible faster.
I think the other thing to consider that we haven't mentioned yet is the purpose of the pen.
Yes.
For visual learners. There are some people who want to see the connection within a paragraph, perhaps, between maybe 3 items that the writer is trying to connect. Sometimes I find it useful to circle the important words. So in a sense, that might be part of the backtracking, but it's also part of that skimming. In other words, when I first looked at this guy, Warren Buffett, he had 14 points, and I thought, I'm not going to read these straight through. I'm going to skim them. And when I first looked through, I saw the word cooking. And I thought, this is amazing. Here's a man who is using simple language to describe finances. And so cooking was one of the words I circled.
Sure. I totally agree with you. You are on the right track. You know, you are a pretty much experienced reader than I am, for sure. You know, and I think that's the point. I mean, especially if you're studying, right?
Right.
There is a guy called Howard Stephen Berg. He is alleged the fastest reader in the world, according to the Guinness Book. And he said that studying, when you're studying, I think what's the most important is I'm going to add another term here. You've mentioned skimming. I'm going to add scanning. Scanning means to find out the most important ideas and points in the text that will meet your purposes in the reading process, right? And when you're studying, I think it's unnecessary just to read the whole book from cover to cover, right? All you have to do is do a pre-reading by reading the appendix, by reading the table of content, and the blurbs of the book, just to do some sort of a warming up, and maybe select some of the points that will, or some of the ideas that will actually meet your purpose, what you really need. I think this is very important, right? Before you get started, just to think about your purpose. Why am I going to be reading this? Why do I need, or what kind of information I will benefit from reading this book or this chapter or something even smaller?
I think that's a very good point, because I think too many people confuse scanning and skimming.
Yes. Skimming means reading very rapidly the whole material and try to summarize the main points, especially from each paragraph if you're reading a shorter material. And scanning means just going directly to the point. I mean, to the topics or the main ideas in the text that you are mostly interested in, right?
I think you did a really good service there, because anyone watching this can pick up a very quick tip. I've taken a speed reading course, and my parents paid a lot of money for it, and I forgot about, I knew that there was the word scan and the word skim, but I was getting them mixed up. And I think what we're saying is it's very good to first quickly look over, almost like scan it first for what's important to you, and then do the skimming of the areas that you want more information from them.
I agree.
That is
Definitely.
very good, very good. So I looked up Howard Stephen Berg, and I just found Howard Berg, world's fastest reader.
It's Stephen in the middle, but you would mostly find Berg, Howard Berg, right?
Oh, okay, great.
Okay.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's Howard Stephen Berg. Oh, good.
Yeah. There are 3 people here. One of them is no longer living, is Peter Kamp, right? He has a very interesting book on the subject. Let me just grab here. It's called Breakthrough Rapid Reading, right? This was written in the 70s, but it's a classic. I think it's quite good.
Oh, Kump, K-U-M-P.
Yes. Yes. Also, I think there are some other interesting points that I don't know if you would mind if I go over very quickly.
Sure.
Peripheral vision, right?
Interesting.
White vision. I mean, to be, I think if you learn this technique, to be able to concentrate in one word, but also read ultimately 2 or 3 words or even more words at a glance, right? This is also an interesting point. And also, I could add reading on the computer, because the screen is it's a different topic. You could use as a pacer on screen. I think anyone can do this. It's very simple. Your own cursor. I mean, your own mouse, right? By just running rapidly with the mouse under the lines, you would read faster.
Okay.
This is
right.
It's an interesting tip too, right? And for comprehension, for understanding, which is imperative in the reading process, I like to actually use a few questions. They say that those are the interesting keywords, like why, where, when, what, and I'm not sure if I missed one. Asking these questions all the time, right? Oh, okay. It's how, why, when, where, what, and who, right?
That's right.
If you really combine this into, or include these techniques into your reading, you're gonna actually benefit from that too.
I think that's right. And I'm looking right now at Amazon, where they have Breakthrough Rapid Reading, a little summary of the contents. It says, read without saying each word to yourself. Which is what we were talking about. Stop reading each word. So that guy is called Peter Kamp.
Peter Kamp, yes. He used to advise the Nixon staff during the 60s.
Oh, that's very good.
There is a guy who is even famous today. It just slipped out of my mind.